Hi everyone, good evening. How are you doing? So, one more time, I sincerely apologize that our masterclass did not hold in the month of June. It was of no intention of mine that it would not hold, but due to circumstances beyond my control, we're not able to hold it. Our topic for the month is stop playing small, owning your presence and trusting your voice. At the end of this masterclass, I would love for you to be able to identify what makes you shrink. I'd love for you to break your agreement with limiting beliefs. I'd love that you build a quiet confidence and audacity rooted around your identity, that you learn to show up boldly without pride. I'll begin with a question, which I'll definitely be looking at the comments for answers. And my question to you today is this: you ever had something to say and you stayed quiet? Not because you didn't know the answer, not because you weren't capable, but because maybe you thought to yourself, what if I'm wrong? What if nobody listens to me? What if I'm not good enough? Or let me ask you another question. How many opportunities have you watched yourself ignore? Have you watched pass by you just because you doubted yourself? Or how many rooms have you made yourself feel small or look small because you assumed that everyone else knew more than you? How many dreams have remained ideas just because you've convinced yourself that you needed to wait until you felt ready? One of the things that I want you to leave today's conversation with is that you are secure enough to stop apologizing for the gifts that God has placed on your inside. You see, I read the book of Exodus chapter 3 and chapter 4 recently, and one thing stood out for me. When God called Moses, Moses did not argue about God's power. He argued about himself. Who am I? I can't speak. God was talking to him about purpose, but he kept emphasizing his own insecurities. Many of us are praying for open doors, we're praying for opportunities. But if those opportunities arrive today, our self image would reject it. You cannot consistently occupy a space that your identity believes you don't deserve. You cannot occupy a space that your identity believes you don't deserve. One thing I've learned over the years is this: playing small is not humility. A lot of times it is fear disguised or wearing the clothes of humility. Humility says, I know I need God to achieve this God sized dream. But false humility says, I have nothing to offer. Both of them are not saying the same thing. You see, God did not ask Moses to become somebody else. He just asked him to trust the one who sent him. I'd like to ask you 4 questions that I ask myself, and I'd love that you take out time and answer these 4 questions. Number 1, where do I usually make myself smaller? Where do I usually make myself smaller? Number 2, who do I become around successful people? Who do I become around successful people? Number 3, what opportunities have I avoided because I doubted myself? What opportunities have I avoided because I doubted myself? And number 4, what story have I believed about myself over the years that no longer sounds like a lie? These are introspective questions, and I would love for your sake that you take out time to answer these questions. Not because I asked you to on this course, but because these are questions that are detrimental to the future that you have decided that you desire. The angel appeared to Gideon and asked him and said to him, listen, the Lord is with you, mighty warrior, sorry. And Gideon's response goes, my family is the weakest. I am the least. God introduced him to potential. God speaks to him about his potential. His response is, I am the least. He doesn't respond to what God says to him. He responds based on his limitation. And this is what a lot of us do. We respond to God from the lenses of our limitations. Every one of us is living from a story. Yours may sound like, I'm shy. I've never been lucky. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not connected. I'm too young. I'm too old. I don't speak very well. I don't come from the right background. And for many of us, these stories have now become our identities. And our identities have become our lifestyle. One of the ways that we can overcome this is by sitting with God's word. What I believe, and what does God's word say? For example, everything you've done, you've maybe failed at it. You can now tell yourself, no, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Or the enemy has been whispering, you don't belong. You can respond right back and say to him, I'm loved by God. God is my Father. I am loved by God. Confidence is not born, it's built. It's not a personality trait, it's evidence. You trust yourself because you've kept promises to yourself. This is one of the reasons why I believe that confidence grows through obedience. The more obedient you are to the Lord, the more confident you are in your walk with Him. David didn't become confident, he didn't become audacious the moment he stood before Goliath. He was audacious prior standing before Goliath. He became confident as he was taking care of the sheep. He became confident even though he felt like suffering, even though he felt like his family, left him behind and kicked him out and all of that. Even though those experiences were real, his confidence grew. When you wake up early, when you tell yourself you will wake up, your confidence grows. When you commit to reading and you follow through, your confidence grows. When you avoid difficult conversations because they make you uncomfortable rather, your confidence shrinks. Your confidence account is filled by your daily integrity. How are you treating yourself? How are you treating yourself? Ask yourself, what kind of promises have I been giving myself? Have I made for myself in the last few months? And have I kept my promise to myself? Have I kept my promises to myself? Ask yourself areas where you've not kept your promise and now begin to build integrity in those areas, because integrity is not built on what you think you should do, but in what you actually need to do. I have learned over time that it is small victories that create lasting confidence. It is small victories that create lasting confidence. So if you do not build those small muscles now, when you are faced with life, when you are faced with life's challenges, you will struggle. You'll struggle. So start keeping your promise to yourself. You say you'll wake up at a particular time, wake up at that time. You said you'd do something, do what you said you would. Keep your promise to yourself. Do what you said you would. And become intentional about it. You can start in the little ways, but you can grow in it. Start in the little ways, start in the ways that can be ignored, but build it. Keep getting better, keep growing. Do you understand? Keep growing, keep growing, keep thriving, keep seeing differently, keep asking questions, keep improving. Like I told you in one of the master classes, great people are not known by what they do occasionally. They are known by what they do consistently. So when we look at your consistent behavior, we can tell where the future is taking you. When we look at how you respond to life consistently, we can tell. We can tell who you're becoming. We can tell how you're becoming. Now, there's a difference. There's a difference between demanding attention and carrying presence. And for those of you who are founders, um, you own a company, you run a company, we have a platform for founders. And I'd really encourage you to go and join that platform. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because in that platform, I talk about things like executive presence, because it's important. It's important that you're not just waiting for life to happen to you. You are giving life the appropriate response that it requires, because presence is not about volume, it's about conviction. This is why a lot of the wealthiest people on the earth are very minimalist. They're not trying to show off. They're not trying to um, let you see them or to impress you by their presence. They're not. Rather, their conviction shines through. Their conviction shines through. So you can see their conviction in the way that they show up. You can see what they believe in the way that they respond to life. Jesus could calm the storm because he was not ruled by the storm. Jesus could calm the storm because he was not ruled by the storm. Daniel could influence kings because he knew who he was. Esther's journey to the palace was settled in her heart long before she went into the pageantry. Your presence has to be settled even before you enter the room. It starts in private. It starts privately. When your identity is settled, you stop comparing, you stop competing, you stop performing, you stop apologizing for taking up space. You simply become available for God to use. Stop apologizing. I'd love to give you an assignment, and I want to give this to everybody. I want you to write 50 I am statements. I'm loved. I'm safe. I'm known by God. I matter to God. I want you to intentionally, come up with it. 50 of them. This is one of the assignments that I give people who I see are struggling with identity. I give them this because it gives them an opportunity to be introspective, gives them an opportunity to look within and not look outside. It gives them an opportunity to see themselves from the lenses of God and not from the lenses of their experience. I want you to do the same. And you could send it to me personally, privately, so that I could go through it with you. Or you could, paste it somewhere. You could consistently see it every day to remind yourself of who you are, that you're not, determined, that you're not ruled by your circumstances and the environment that you found yourself. I think that will help somebody. I really believe that it would. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs the person that God created you to be. Stop waiting until you feel qualified. Stop waiting until you have all the answers. Stop waiting for fear to disappear. Stop waiting. Courage is not necessarily the absence of fear. It is choosing obedience despite the fear that you feel. God didn't create you to hide your light. He has called you to steward it. You are the light of the world, a city set on the hill. City set on a hill. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. Stop shrinking. Stop apologizing. Stop living beneath the measure of grace that has been placed upon your life. We walk into rooms with humility. We lead with excellence. We serve with love. But we don't mistake shrinking for holiness. We do not. The world is waiting for the version of you that has chosen to stop playing. The world is waiting for the version of you that has chosen to wake up and fight for your calling, for your destiny, for all that God has called you to be. Stop hiding. Stop hiding. And stop playing small. Let me know in the comments something that stood out to you, something that, you know, won't leave you, something that you definitely will be taking away from today's conversation. I look forward to seeing you live next time. Until then, It's bye for now from me.